Good evening, ladies and gentlemen. Welcome to another council meeting. Today's date is July 18, 2016. The meeting is now called to order. So we'll open up with a word of prayer. Let us bow our heads. Our Heavenly Father, this day we give thanks to you for the many blessings that you've bestowed upon us. We ask, Heavenly Father, that as we conduct the business for the city, that you would be in our midst and bless each and every one of us as council members to conduct the city's business. And Lord God, continue to bless us and keep us, and we'll forever give your name the glory, honor, and praise. For it's in your Son, Jesus Christ's name, we all say amen. Amen. Let us stand for the pledge of allegiance. I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all. We welcome you to another council meeting. And the first order of business is to approve the minutes for executive session May 16th.
Mayor,
Yes.
the May the 16th was the one that I had asked about correcting things over into the executive section, so that will have to come out.
So in other words, you'd like to,
We have to go back into executive section.
okay, so.
Let me ask one question about it. You said there was only one word. One word will not give any context away in these minutes. So if you have got that one word, you can tell us what that one word is and what page it's on. Do you see any reason why we couldn't change one word? It's not going to give out any context. So I think, Mr. Whipple, if you would give us that one word, we can take care of that without having to go into executive session.
Okay, then. I was thinking that since we, was already going in after that we could do it. But if it's all right with the council, they agree, it's fine with me.
Council, what's you all's take? Councilwoman Whipple said it's okay if all of you all are in agreement. So let's take that by a vote.
We just see if you want to do that, yeah.
It's just one word, but I want to do it right.
Yeah, so do we have I'm sorry, the motion? So do you make that motion?
Well, when you go into executive session, you can only discuss what you're supposed to discuss anyway.
Well, that's
So
all.
this be something new. You can discuss it in, I believe it.
What she is saying, I think, correct me if I'm wrong, Councilwoman, you're saying that council is giving you the go-ahead to go ahead and address this without having to go into executive session, is my understanding. Am I
Yes,
correct?
ma'am, we need to get them over with. I mean, they dated back to May, and there's no reason for us to keep putting it off. If we wait till the council does that, then we have to wait till later to do it, because it won't be on the agenda again, so it's up front. So one word is not gonna change any of the context. So I'd say go ahead and give us that one word.
It's fine with me.
Well, the thing of it is that the motion and the second. So motion has been made by Councilman Dinsley.
I'll second the motion to change to one word.
So all in favor of that motion, accepting, we're gonna hear a roll call start with Councilman Dinsley.
Aye.
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 All right, so you may.
Somebody repeat the motion, please.
To change the one word in the executive minutes, so we can accept it.
Thank you.
Okay, it's, May the 16th, and it's on page 3. And the word was argued.
On page 3, what paragraph or sentence?
Paragraph 4,
Paragraph 4. And the one word was what?
argued. The council member was argued.
Argued. And what do you want it to say? change that word, if you wanna change, I mean, you either got to
Stated. Did I state it?
state it.
Mhm.
I don't see that it would change that anymore.
What I do.
Okay.
All in favor of accepting,
Well, let's make a new motion. We did that. I make a motion, we accept the executive minutes as changed.
I second.
motion has been made and second, any discussion? No discussion, all in favor, Councilman Wynn.
Aye.
Aye.
The ayes have it. We'll move right along to the, council minutes for June 6, 20.
I offer motion that we accept the June the 6th, 2016, council minutes.
For the mayor pro tem.
Yeah, because,
Mr. Terry.
I believe he signed those. Motion has been made and second to accept the council minutes from June 6, 2016. All in favor? I'm sorry, is there any discussion about the June 6, 2016 minutes? With no discussion, all in favor, roll call, Councilman Wynn?
Aye.
Aye.
Aye. Aye.
All right, the ayes have it. So we'll, I should have. All right, we're moving right along to the mayor's notes. Just like to start off with saying, to each and every one of you, I love Gordon as I am sure all of you do as well. And that means each of you who brought the suit against me. I understand that you were acting out of your love for our great city, Gordon, Georgia. I was born here and have lived here all of my life and certainly hold no ill will against anyone. And appreciate your love for the city that we all love dearly. Now that the court has established the will of the people, which is that I serve as mayor, it is my earnest prayer that we can move forward with the best interest of Gordon in mind, abiding by the Gordon City Charter, and making plans to improve our city and serve our people to the best of our ability. Please, I ask that we take some time to reflect, some place to dream, and find inspiration for the tasks ahead of us. I've only had 2 months and 5 days of being mayor without defending against the suit, but I would do it again because I love this city. I've made mistakes, but they have been honest mistakes. And I will probably make some more because that is human to err. But that is divine to forgive. And I ask now that we all forgive each other and move on to the important business of the city of Gordon. Finally, let the past and its times of turmoil and disquiet be a catalyst to uplift our spirits when we experience uncertainty and doubt. Let's let that past be a setting for readying ourselves to truly make a difference in our beloved city. May the joys and struggle of leadership bring us to a new consciousness and new light that opens greater opportunities for our service to Gordon, Georgia, so that each of our personal paths will be brightened. I hope we are prepared to put an end to all of that era of conflict and just move forward with progress. I thank each of you. Moving right along to the old business, we have the Wilkerson County Development Authority, G.B.R. and Schwartz water line installation, and we have, Mr. Jackson, would you come down and address the council, please?
Yes, ma'am. I was just following up on a request that I submitted to the council regarding covering the installation of water lines and meters for the Zimmer and Schwartz project. So it'll be a new customer, a water customer for the city of Florida. And I made that request in previous meetings, so I'll be following up on that.
Council, do you all have any questions for Mr. Jackson?
If not, I'd like to make a motion that we go ahead and approve this, but $55,000 is what was requested, and that's what I would like to stay with, at this time.
I second the motion.
Council, we've heard that the motion has been made and second. Is there any further discussion?
Out of splosh, I'm sorry, out of old splosh.
I was gonna ask.
Not only that, Mr. Jackson and I have been in communications about what's called intergovernmental agreements, that you're providing services outside the city limits. There's also the city of Ivy involved and possibly Wilkes County. But to make this official, you need an intergovernmental agreement between the city of Gordon and the city of Ivy and the Development Authority. What participation on a formal basis the city of Gordon is going to do with respect to putting up money, because you're spending public money, and it has to be documented properly rather than just say we'll spend $65,000 for a water line. There's other things to go along with that, as far as what's client's participation going to be, what the development authority participation is going to be, what everybody's participation is going to be. There needs to be a formal agreement.
So is that in the line of the resolution or the contract that you're speaking
Well,
of?
it's an intergovernmental contract.
So how long would that take you for you
Well, as soon
to?
as we get some feedback on exactly who's doing what, and we've got some preliminary indication from Mr. Jackson about who's gonna do what, we can reduce that to writing and bring it back to the council. So, what I've been telling Mr. Jackson earlier today is, this is all well and good, but this is more or less an informal, unofficial commitment, pending, this probably should be part of your motion, Mr. Eagle,
Sir.
pending the preparation and approval of an intergovernmental agreement to be presented at a later date.
Well, I would certainly be willing to change the motion to include the intergovernmental agreement, be a part of it. I would add that to the motion.
So we would give the attorneys and you all time to, so when do you think that will be conducive to move forward?
I think as far as a timeline goes, there seems to be the timeline for construction, there seems to be the portion they hold us up the longest on getting an intergovernmental agreement. We should have that nailed down in the middle of August.
Does that sound conducive?
As soon as we all, we leave it up to y'all. Sure.
I think I heard some.
No, I was saying this. Attorney Bloom made a great suggestion.
All right, then we'll, as soon as you all can get that drawn up, then I'm sure that council will be right again, ready to go ahead and get that done. So with that being said, we've got the motion made
And amended.
and amended to do that.
If Ms. Woodward was second, I think if she would agree to the amendment.
I agree.
Okay, so is there any further questions or discussion? If not, then we'll start with Councilman Nguyen.
Aye.
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 The ayes have it. All right, we have next on the agenda reimbursement for event. And so, Councilwoman Winter.
I had went to City Hall because I had misplaced some of my receipts. And I understand that we were supposed to do it with receipts 20. I did go back, and I did get some receipts. And I do have them. You want me to bring them to your office tomorrow? Or do you do that?
You can send it to them, we got them all.
Would you care to share the reimbursement of what you,
For the, this,
council?
the event that we did for Miss Connie Lewis, I was supposed to spend at least not over $200. I spent $174.64, and now I want to be reimbursed for mine.
As long as you got receipts, it's no problem.
Okay, but this one, for the cost of the flowers, the function, goes in place in 14 days. Let me put that price in.
If you have the actual receipts,
I have the receipt for the other stuff.
but you don't know that was the
And
problem
that's
earlier,
what-
she didn't have all the receipts. So I thought we should bring it before the city council for payment. Because I'm not
Well, I
gonna have
asked
the
you
receipt to
that
show the auditors.
I did tell you that, that was the reason that I wanted to bring it to city council. Because I didn't have some of my receipts.
I know I suggested it, so I appreciate you bringing it.
So council,
It don't matter, but I did suggest to you that I was.
okay, so you have clearly made the statements, each of you, what you've done. So, we are now ready to, move forward with, to a motion to accept her being reimbursed. So do I have a motion to accept?
I'll make a motion that she be reimbursed for the money that she spent.
Motion has been made, do I have a second?
Did I understand that if I may, did she have all the receipts or not all of them?
No,
I
sir.
didn't understand, okay.
That's why I suggested she bring them to the council, because she does not have all her receipts.
So how much do you have that you want to be reimbursed for? Now, that would be my question.
I would like to be reimbursed for all of it, which was $174.64.
So, have you received any of your monies, Councilwoman Woodard?
No. And I think everybody there that was there know that the event was really, I used some of my stuff and I did not charge what I used for my stuff, but the stuff that I really had to.
Let me ask this question. Can you
And I had.
make out an invoice and put a price on it?
Yeah,
and
that's what
sign
I
it?
wanted to do. That's what I wanted
If
to do.
you'll do that, I'll be in agreement with second the motion and
Okay.
move forward with it.
Okay,
I'll
thank
second
you.
the motion.
Thank you.
Motion has been made and second. Any further discussion? If not, then we're gonna start with Councilman Dansley.
Aye.
Uh,
Once she writes out a receipt, yeah.
The ayes have it. All right. Thank you. All right, next we'll have, we've already, the installation of the, surveillance camera, and, I believe it was, 2014, you were council, you'd already approved that all of this be, put in place, but nevertheless, I, brought the bid and everything before each of you. That was 2014, and even met with, had the gentleman come down and give us that price, so we budgeted that in the, it was placed in the budget. So we're just good to go, we're just waiting on the time to get it
In
done.
2014, you can't roll it over.
Well,
It has to be this year, and it was not put in this year's budget. So my recommendation is, get bids, new bids, and bring them to us, and put it in the budget when, we do the budget this time, so you have an idea of exactly how much it costs.
okay.
You can't roll from one year to the other, so it was 2014, the bids aren't any good.
Now that's gonna come out of, which,
General fund.
General fund.
Yes, ma'am.
And I hear what you're saying, and once, and this is what I just learned, I believe, down in, while we were there in Savannah, and this is to enlighten you. But, the question was posed to the instructor in that class, and Councilwoman Wilkie, you were in that class with me, were you not? When we talked about, once money has been appropriated and agreed upon that you could not take it back. Do you recall? But nevertheless, if it's gonna cause, not cause any confusion with council, you know, I don't have a problem with doing that. But we've already agreed to do it, like you
Maybe
said.
to give you a little more clarification, if it was squash money and it was appropriated and the project was there, you don't take the money back until that project is deemed unusable again.
Right.
Regular city fund has to be done from October to September. You cannot do
And I
anything
understand
between those
that.
times.
But I made sure
Yes, ma'am.
I brought that question up, and so
Sure.
this is
Well,
what the,
They may not have they may have misunderstood which monies you were talking about.
could very well be, but nevertheless, it'll be, you know,
Yes, ma'am.
addressed in that. And so with that being said, so I can have some clarity, then we go back and have that appropriated in the budget so that we could go ahead and move forward with
Yes,
that.
ma'am. There
All
you go.
right, sounds good to me. Mr.
Yes.
Council, do you all have any, so I guess with that, I'll just ask for a motion to accept that.
To accept one.
To what you just pointed out, that we,
I mean, it's a pending issue, you know, unless you just bring it back into budget now, so we just table this issue now.
well, we'll table that to go back.
I'll make a motion to table this issue.
Okay, so,
Second.
all in favor? Or any discussion? Aye, the ayes have it.
Aye.
We'll do that. And that'll still be, come under the whole business, but, okay. All right, moving right along to what we call the benches at the garden park. Now, we took a vote on that. Of course, our, former council member Smallwood is no longer here, so we took a vote that we would go ahead and do that. So I have a brochure here that we would like to go ahead and get this implemented in the, garden park. Am I calling it right, the Golden City Park?
Yes, ma'am.
Okay, so I just want to give you all, I've already, selected my preference, but if you all have something in mind that we want to make it conducive for folks, throughout the park, that when they go and do the exercise or daily walk, I'd like to have the one with the back, the bench, not just one with the, you just go and sit, but the one that has the back. And we've got one called the Allure. And we said, how many, anybody recall? Two. Okay, so, I think two would be a great start so does anyone have any problem with me selecting the ones we, should get? You know, if y'all wanna look at the book.
I don't have any problem. We already made a motion to do it, we just let you go ahead and do it.
Okay, so do y'all want me to go ahead and do it tonight to give you the selection or whatever you all are asking?
I have no problem with selection. We need to get Melvin or whoever's looking at it, make sure they put them on concrete slab where they won't
Steve,
turn over and somebody won't pick them up and run off with them.
Well, I will.
Make sure they're installed properly.
Okay. Well, Councilman, you seem to be experienced in that area. Would that be a problem for you to work with them or ensure that that is in place?
Not if they let me know when they're gonna do it. If they let me know when they're gonna do it.
Oh, okay, that sounds good. So, I'll go ahead and make the selection. I'm going to try and keep it conducive. They have some very nice ones in here, at the starting price. But we'll decide. I'll decide and let the clerk know which one I've selected, okay? Thank you so much. And moving right along, now I have here, an event that, the usage of the MLK Park. And as I travel throughout the state of Georgia and have attended some of the events in the park, particularly in Buckhead at the amphitheater and such, and I was recently at an event in Macon about 2 months ago, and I'd like to say to you all, I'd like to utilize that park for an event. It's a musical event, and just for the citizens and everybody who wish to come, a great music extravaganza. So being that I'm musically inclined, I'd like to bring that by council. And if anybody has any questions, feel free to ask me.
who in the city is going to sponsor it? Because the only people that can use it is city sponsored people, you know. and it would have to be some group or somebody that sponsors. That's the way the write-up is for the railroad. And
I'm
the
not,
railroad
I'm
write-up.
gonna bring, I have not seen that, I've not seen the directives, as to who can do it or what, but because I'm the mayor, and planning this event, so I'm the one that's going to, would like to do it, and it's an event for everybody just to come out and just be able to enjoy. And I've had, an event before there years ago when, I think it was, Dr. Garner, who was, in office, who allowed me to use the park. So with that being said,
You have to be really careful because the write-up says only city-sponsored events. If you
This
want
is-
to be the sponsor, you step up and do it, it'd be on you. That's the only thing I would say.
exactly, I understand, so I just wanna let you all know, and with that, I'll be responsible for everything. I'll take that, so I want you all to be in agreement with me, okay? That we're on the same page, so, is there any other questions or,
You
council?
got a date and time?
It's over in October, I believe it's the Saturday 22nd. If y'all, put on your calendar, it's the Saturday in, October this year.
Do you anticipate spending any money, city funds on it?
No,
Okay.
none whatsoever,
All right,
no.
good enough.
So do you all have any other questions? So with that being said, I take it as that it is a go.
Would it be a daytime or nighttime?
Oh, well, evening,
Evening.
evening. I'm not, so, it depends on who all is going to come. They will be coming from far and near, around him, and I've got to check with them their, itinerary schedule and stuff.
And I would just ask you, limited lighting, we provide, the Better Hometown provides all the extra lighting, when we have a night event, so there's not very much light, there's just a few, street light type lights out there, so I was just wondering if it was gonna be after dark, you may have to have your own lighting,
Okay, whatever, we'll just, be prepared and,
Yeah.
can someone check the air?
It's going harder than
As
it
far
goes.
as it's going.
We might need to quit everything, just, it's hot up in here. But nevertheless, so, is that okay with you all, Councilman?
Yes, it's okay.
Okay, just wanted to get everybody's take on that, okay? Thank y'all so much, and I'll keep you posted. All right, now, I have the LMIG information that, we've already pretty much discussed. I've got a whole lot that I've tried to give to you all, and maybe, I passed on to you from Mr. Barry Wood. This is the, urgency of, us identifying the road. And then he sent a great deal of information, so have you all had time to look through that? Any questions? So, being that you're a bit
I
more familiar.
I read the application part, but now it's missing the, priority sheet of the city streets that we have to do, and I think you have to do it each year over again, I think. Yes, ma'am, do you know something?
I just want to tell you, I talked to Spence right before I came over here today. He said we were not eligible for LMIG in 2016. And he said with council's permission, if y'all give permission to do so, that he will see if we're eligible for the 2017 LMIG.
Well, that's what this one is.
Right, and that's the one we've got before us. And he also wanted me to relay to y'all that he's waiting on Sandy Brooks with Womack Paving to set the pre-construction conference date for Holly Street.
Okay, so that's still on the way to be.
Yes, ma'am. But, he said he would be glad to assist with 2017 LMIG in any way possible.
Okay.
See it through if we were eligible.
So what's your?
I'll make a
you all's take
motion
on
that we use Mr. Spence Basin just to fill out the application and help us through this LD for the next year.
Motion has been, offered. We'll have a second. Any discussion? Any questions? If not, then, we'll start with, Councilman Nguyen.
Aye.
All right, moving right along, this is the official, municipal attire. And what this is once more again being brought on to you all by the mayor, want to get, we all attended the, those who were in attendance at the Georgia Municipal Association. They had their time for each city, and so I know a few of you all, councilmen, do you have yours on today?
Yes, ma'am, I do.
That's great.
One of them,
Okay, so how many do you all have?
probably 6 or 7 over the last 20 years.
Okay, so,
We started back when the Better Hometown came into existence, and each year they would do a color coordinated shirt for their festival and all, and so the city, you know, got on board with our shirts. And rather than Better Hometown, we just had, you know, Gordon City Council on.
okay.
We probably purchased, you know, 7 or 8 over the last 20 years, you know.
And whose company did you all use?
Mr. Kenneth handled it, more than likely he used Tony Powell down here in Gordon.
Well, I'd like to keep that consistent if, you all, you
But I
know.
think the money always came out of our contingency fund. It's something that's under the council and mayors. It's been reduced very, very low. I don't even know if we put very much in that this year, but, you know, if you wait, you know, a few months, we can put a little extra in there.
Okay.
Next budget.
Okay, I just wanted to make sure that we, the new council, be brought up to par, and, be able to go ahead and do that, and if that not be a problem, council, then
I
we'll.
think it's a waste of money. I know it's not a lot of money, but we got so much other stuff that we need to spend money on. If anything you wanna do, buy you a pen and wear it in if you want to. I just can't stick to the money and wait if we don't have.
And to say that, Councilman Wynn, I think I sort of understand what you say, but when we get down to, these conferences and they ask us to wear our shirts and do that, I think it's you've not been on council yet long enough to be able to, enter into these contests, so I think we could squeeze a $10 shirt each out of, how much are they generally running, council?
30 bucks.
It's not the money.
Something like this probably too. I'd be willing to pay for mine. I mean, it would be all right with me. You know, if you get the prices, I'd pay for mine. Okay.
And if we're not gonna buy out of, budget, I pay for mine, so.
Okay. But you all don't have a problem with us getting these shirts?
No.
Okay, all right. So that'll be, and then, okay, all right. So getting right along, we can do that, I think, that's no problem, okay? All right, moving right along to new business. We have, a water leak adjustment, and, I'll let the, this is right here. We have before us Ms. Sharonda Williams. She's a renter, and she's applying for credit and a credit adjustment. What is this right here?
She had a leak due to her toilet leak.
And she's eligible for a 2 consecutive month adjustment. Is that what they're saying? Is she here?
I don't think so.
Okay, if not, council, it's been brought before us. Normally, I think her minimum bill is $35.92. Where should be charged? Oh my God, 581, is that?
No, $58.30, and one for $81.30.
Okay.
I make a motion, we grant her an adjustment on the water bill as per custom. Mayor?
Motion has been made and second. Any further discussion? If not, all in favor, Councilman Dancy?
Aye.
Right.
Okay, and we have brought before us, we have that letter from Ms. April Smith, stating that she do not want to participate in on the planning and zoning board, she no longer wants to. So, do I have a motion that we accept her recommendation, her, resignation?
I offer motion that we accept her resignation.
I second.
Motion has been made and second. Any further discussion? All in favor?
Aye.
Aye.
The ayes have it, and then at the next council, I'll, submit someone else for that.
The council needs to submit some names to council, one that appoints and everything.
Okay, well, you'll be able, as long as, right now we have it, wanna keep it balanced out, so you can bring some to, okay?
Yes, ma'am.
All right, now quote for the patrol car equipment.
There are two different quotes, one from West Chatham, one in Devices, one from Interceptor, both of these, companies installed.
Excuse me, is there, is that three that you're required to get? I mean,
These are the only ones I can find that's fairly local, and we've actually used both of these before.
Okay, if council
These,
was.
these companies are hard to find.
Right, and I hear what you're saying, but ultimately, they've always said you have to have what, three?
You try to ask for three, yes, ma'am. If we can't give it two, we usually go with them, especially in specialized equipment like this.
So, but whatever council is agreement, so you may proceed.
Yeah, there's others that's outside the state, there's others that's North Georgia and extreme South Georgia. But, these two quotes here we got, outfit the vehicles for putting the blue lights, installing all the equipment inside the vehicle, having control ready, radio, the gauges, all the equipment. West Chatham, the price I got from them was $6,999.63. The one I have from Interceptor is $6,466.82, except for Interceptor did not add the radio into the vehicle. They didn't give me a price. We had to live with the blank.
Why do you think they did that? I mean,
I
knowing
have no idea.
that this is a patrol car, right?
I have no idea.
And you've used these people before?
We've used them years ago with Interceptor, and we have been using West Chatham warning devices probably for the last
So which
6
have
or
you
7
been,
years.
which have you been very pleased with?
West Chatham. They actually monitor, they keep up all our radios for our portables at the police department, each officer carriers. They keep the maintenance on the,
Even though that quote is a bit, how much of a difference?
it's not if you add the $700 in for the radio. You add $700 to 64, say
Is this good?
$6,500. It's gonna be, Interceptor's actually gonna be $200 more than what West Chatham would be. I have it highlighted up under, if you look at
Right, exactly.
the backside of Interceptor.
Right. See that? And so it's $320, with the,
Yeah, the radio, high tier radio is $700. And over here, they left theirs blank, they didn't give a quote on the price of the radio.
It would be $166 more what it would be, you know, if you added radio into it. And it may be that they, are brand specific. A lot of companies don't handle other brands of radio, you know.
They did ask about the high tier, asked where did we get the high tiers from, and I was where we got it from. And I know right off the top, he said we're probably better off if we bought the high tier from West Chatham, because they wouldn't find all the other high tiers.
so how much difference did you say,
166.
if you,
West Chatham be 166 cheap.
okay, $6,040,
It'd be $7,166.82 if you add the $700 to the other.
What I did was took that radio and subtracted it from that 320. I mean, that 320 what it would cost, which is, I believe Chatham is charging how much to do that?
Chatham, their radio is $700 for car radio.
Where is that on there?
It's on the second page, down towards the bottom, it's
Oh,
like the
that
third from the
high
bottom.
tier of radio?
Yes, ma'am.
Okay. So council, anything else with that?
Just my recommendation, West Chatham warning devices.
They want the cheapest one.
Yes, ma'am.
That's what
Yes, ma'am.
Going with the cheapest one?
I want to go with West Chatham, period,
Well,
but it is the cheapest.
That is a complete bid, West
That's
Chatham.
a complete bid.
They didn't
Okay.
bid on the radio with the others, but
and Interceptor did not.
Yes, ma'am.
Did. All right, well, this council is,
I make a motion that we accept the bid from West Chatham.
Exactly.
motion has been made and second. Any Discussion?
Only question, will they come here, or do you have to send it down there? Is it in Savannah or?
No, it's not Savannah, it's,
Got two
Preston.
different- Preston, Georgia,
Preston.
okay, I didn't know where that was.
That's probably about an hour and
Well,
Yeah,
Councilwoman Wilkins,
I-
I told, I think that'd be a good thing for you to go and being that you over there, if you just wanna wait a minute.
usually send somebody, usually someone will send somebody to pick it up. Because, and usually by this time we're,
Y'all do
before
what?
the vehicle, usually before we even have the vehicle delivered, they will, we already have all this taken care of
Who generally
beforehand.
does that?
And West Chatham usually comes and picks the vehicle up from the dealership
Oh, okay.
and gets it there, and then when they get it completed, then we.
Then they contact you and let you know that it's ready.
Usually we like to go up there and the officer likes to be present when they start installing the equipment. That way they know how far to set the seat back. If it's a tall person, they may set it for a short person.
So who basically, cars assigned to different ones, because I noticed you're talking about height and all of the.
Yeah, this one here, the Andy's, Andy Astor's vehicle, it was this time for this year. Basically, we have
So they're
miles.
pretty much adjusted to him.
That pretty much adjusted to him, just this, to the maximum leg room that they adjusted to. So if we put somebody in the back seat, they do have room in the back seat.
Any other questions, council? I mean, this is how we learn, we ask. And inquiring minds do want to know. If no questions, do I have a motion that we go ahead and give him to go ahead?
They already did both of
Okay,
them.
okay. So everybody's in favor, right? Have I heard starting with Councilman Wynn?
Aye.
The ayes have it.
Thank you.
All right, we have next the special election resolution. Ready for us to present?
Anytime.
All right, council, I guess I'll go ahead and read it to you all. It's called the resolution of the city of Gordon, Georgia, ordering a special election to fill the vacancy in office of council member Tommy Smallwood. Witnesses. Whereas Councilmember Tommy Smallwood tendered his resignation for the city council on June 6, 2016, and whereas due to the resignation of Councilmember Tommy Smallwood, there now exists a vacancy on the council, and whereas said vacancy occurred more than 6 months prior to the expiration of the term of office of Councilmember Tommy Smallwood, and whereas Section 2.12 of the city charter requires that upon a vacancy on the council, the remaining members of the council shall order a special election to serve the balance of the unexpired term of office of the vacated office. Now, therefore, be it resolved by the council of the city of Gordon, pursuant to Section 2.12 of the charter of the city of Gordon, that the office of council member Tommy Smallwood is hereby declared vacant due to his resignation from the council. Be it further resolved that a special election be called and conducted in order to elect a candidate to fill the unexpired term of office of council member Tommy Smallwood. Be it further resolved that said special election be held on the Tuesday after the first Monday in November pursuant to Official Code of Georgia, annotated 21-2-540C1B, I3. Be it further resolved that qualifying for the special election be held at the Gordon City Hall beginning Monday, August 1st, 2016 at 9 a.m. and closing Friday, August 5th, 2016 at 4 p.m. The qualifying fee shall be set at $108. Be it therefore resolved that the election superintendent of Wilkinson County be furnished with a copy of this resolution and directed to issue the call for the special election and declaring the period during which candidates may qualify to run. Pursuant to this resolution and in accordance with the Georgia Election Code. So ordered on this 18th day of July 26th at a regularly scheduled meeting of the mayor and council. City of Gordon, this will be signed off by Mayor Mary Whipple and attested by Tawana Brown, city clerk. So, council,
Who is gonna be responsible for putting it in the paper next week? It's got to run in the paper for a week to be advertised in the paper, you know. Who's gonna do that? The election superintendent
I'll
or
call
the city
Tracy
clerk?
tomorrow.
well, I've got,
Okay.
if y'all just hold up, I've got some information from her, stating what is, necessary. And I believe, she emailed you, do you have your information, Attorney Boone?
I think she's waiting on us to give us the date so she can do
Yeah,
it, but I need to.
she's waiting on us, Mayor, to get this to her as soon as possible.
Right.
She takes it from here on,
Right, okay.
except that qualifying is done at City Hall.
Right, I do understand that, but is that your question you were asking?
Who's gonna put it in the paper, you know?
I think
that-
she does.
She does, okay, that's the question I had, yes, ma'am, they
Okay.
answered that. yes,
So
ma'am.
are you all ready?
I'll make a motion that we accept this resolution as presented tonight.
I second it.
Motion has been made and seconded. Any further questions or discussion? If not, we'll start with Councilman Hensley.
Aye.
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 This is provisional. This is something. I made the motion.
I did.
You did, who seconded it? Yes.
All right, moving right along, we've got the Georgia Fund resolution to transfer funds. So how much is it that you're requesting to transfer?
200,000.
200,000, and this will cover,
Hopefully through the end of September. We won't be getting any more money in until mid-October.
September, will not receive monies until,
Not any big one. And just the payroll alone will be $150,000 from now into September.
all right, we have here before us a resolution of the City of Gordon, the City Council of the City of Gordon, Georgia. Resolved that the regular city council meeting held on the 18th day of July 2016, that the City of Gordon withdraw from the City of Gordon, Georgia Fund 1, account $200,000, and transfer those funds to the City of Gordon General Fund. City Council hereby authorizes Mars Bank to honor a one-time transfer of funds so that current operating expenses, payroll, water, sewage, and other financial obligations of the city can be met. So resolved this 18th day of July 2016. So council,
I make a motion, we approve this resolution for the amount stated.
motion has been made and second. Any discussion? Questions from the council member?
What did you say that balance in the general fund is?
Right now, it's $36,715.92.
$36,715 and how many?
92 cents. And once we have payroll this Friday, that will be gone. Most of it will be gone. The bills are stacking up.
Okay, once we do this, Friday's time transfer this, it will be,
We're hoping that's gonna cover it.
And that'll come in the next check, you said it'd be what?
Mid-October before we get the insurance commissioner's check.
in October.
Are there any more questions or discussion further? If not, we'll take it, starting with, Councilman Denzel.
Aye.
Aye.
Right. The ayes have it.
And if you don't mind, if everybody would sign up while we're here tonight. Great.
I'll pass it down to you. All right, move right along. Our next item on the agenda is event back to school. We have here, and, go ahead.
We don't know. Wait on it. It's something that Barbara and I had. We just gonna wait. So we
Okay.
we'll take it.
Okay, and we have an event coming up for July 29th. And I know that that one doesn't have to, when they want to use the park, the garden park, I understand. We have, July 29th for a back-to-school event at the garden park. So we just want to let, council make you aware that you all put on y'all schedule July 29th. Did anybody have any questions?
Time,
Um,
no, yet.
I have someone here, what time, Pastor?
6 to 8,
6 in the evening,
yes.
6 to 8, and I think that's a great, event to be sponsored, to do something for a positive for our children come back to school. And would you elaborate on that, Pastor? That event about the free haircuts and such? Come down, please.
Excuse me.
One of our pastors from the community, I've extended, others to come to this.
Grateful. Thank you all for allowing us to be here this afternoon. On this past week, we had a citywide revival. Our churches actually came together to fellowship with one another, and with that, we partnered with some local barber shops here to give some things back to our community. We were planning, seeking to utilize the Gordon City Park on the 29th of July, and we as a community, we've already came together to, as far as all of the expenses and things for this particular event. We just wanted to utilize the park on the 29th.
And that is the garden park, right, the one over here?
Behind our church?
Yes.
Yes,
So
Name, could you give his name? I'm sorry. I
Pastor Matt. Pastor
Matt,
Matt.
okay.
So council, I mean, you know, being that everything is here normally, we just go out to the park and have picnics.
Yes, all they have to do is sign up at City Hall, see Ms. Heather Parker.
Thank you, sir.
So you've got to go ahead, everybody's in agreement that we all can participate. So Pastor, did you want to extend this to everybody or just select, you know?
All that desire to attend, they're more than welcome.
Okay. All right, thank you so much for all the great work you do here in the community. All right, now we're moving on to request and resolution here to hire a professional environmental architect engineer company to provide support when needed and requested. And this is, something that I've been, longing to see done here in the city of Gordon, as I've driven around in the town and seen the dilapidated buildings and such. And I just want to share with you, council, and say that I've gone to the regional commission in Macon, and we talked about the blighted banks and all. I wish you all could, join in on those events. And as I said, this is, as we look around our city of Gordon, we can see lots of empty and dilapidated structures, potential asbestos and lead-based paint issues, and the need for general improvements in our waste handling, water, parks and recreation, buildings and roads infrastructure in our city. To that end, I am requesting an authorization from council to hire a professional environmental engineering and architectural company to assist us in identifying and providing guidance on how to fix them and ensure that we are in compliance with federal EPA and Georgia Environmental Protection Division rules. The company will be used when needed. Now, I as the mayor will advertise for and hire the best qualified company to provide us with that support. But I would need from you all a resolution authorizing me as the mayor to do this when needed.
We need a lot more information before we can, move on something like that. I need to, see something in writing, what it entails, what they would do,
Okay.
what kind of prices, because it's not in our budget this year.
Exactly.
We have to see what they would be charging, and then they'd have to do an intergovernmental, not intergovernmental, but engagement letter, and then the council would be the one to make the final decision. I've just never dealt with anybody like this.
Right.
Regular engineers, but I've never dealt with anybody who's had that kind of a title.
Right, and this, I've looked around and I've asked questions over in other surrounding counties, and if you go over to Macon, you would, particularly with the regional commission, they have all of this in place, and I just want to bring it before you all as council members to address this and get your mindset prepared and ready with all the information, but I just want to bring it before you all and make you aware that's what's anticipated, and give you the information on, and I have no problem getting all of that information to you guys. So I just want to let you know, if you all don't mind, I'll go ahead and get that information. So could I get a okay from you all to?
Well, just get it and bring it back, yes ma'am, that's all you gotta do.
I will do that if y'all in agreement. All right, thank you so much. Now,
Mayor, before we go to committees.
excuse me.
Y'all remember back when we were discussing going to the GMA convention? Y'all was talking about my girlfriend. So y'all called her all kind of names except the child of God. That's just receipts where I paid for her registration. Her, I one paid for everything she ate, so.
You want to look at that?
Sure.
Mr. Stevie wasn't questioning it. It was just you three.
But first of all, we called her every name but
Y'all
child.
did that night.
No,
Don't
we did not. No,
If
we
you're not
didn't.
leaving, ask her.
That's not
Excuse me.
true. We was in compliance with you to taking her.
I even said that we should pay for everybody to take one person, George. You remember?
You all,
I paid for everything I.
We
I
didn't
done.
say you didn't repay. You did, you
I
did.
paid
Y'all
for
called me
everything.
names that night.
There you go, madam. I
uh,
don't know what it's about. So,
I had several citizens say that you should have left off there, and I felt bad about it.
Well, what do we say?
Y'all called me everything in the world, the
excuse me,
streetwalker.
listen, you all, this is a council meeting, and regardless, it's not open to the public, it's only open to the council members.
You're talking about her,
But
though.
it's talking about me.
Okay, if we do that, everybody is going to be talked about. So if you got the right to stand out and speak out, Sherry, then everybody else does, and we don't want that. We want the dignity and respect brought back. And so, exactly, so I ask you all to, once again, no response from the audience. Now, this is, we've got policy in place. We've got our attorney sitting here, we've got our authority sitting here. And you all are authorized to, if anybody gets out of order, that's in place. And we don't wanna start this ruckus back again. So, Councilman Wynn,
Ma'am,
you asked that question, so, are you satisfied with the response that you received?
I hadn't received any response. I just given you some information. That's all I would do.
George,
Saying you should apologize to her.
George, who said anything about her?
You, the Rita, the mayor.
I'm done with you. So what did I say?
Barbara.
Well, what did Barbara
And I'm
say?
Barbara, I won't know what
I
to
don't
say.
recall
Who did we
exactly
say it
the
to?
words you
Sure.
said.
I don't know who did we say it to.
It's,
I know about every time something come up, it's always us three. These three, right, and always these three.
it's in the minutes what I said, and I thought I was really helping you out, because I told you, and everybody that sits in here know what I said. Everybody is in the minutes, what I said once, I can say again. And that night, I specifically said that if we take our husbands, or we take, everybody should be allowed to take one person. Everybody in here knows that.
You did say that.
I did say that.
But
So what
y'all
else did I
said,
say?
y'all said you could take your girlfriend or your mistress or whatever she is to you.
Your mistress, who said
That's
that?
all. Let's just go on, let's move on.
Well, now.
No, you brought this to the table.
Exactly.
So
And,
why-
I said I'm through with it, so let's move on.
But evidently, evidently you're not through with it.
I'm through with
Okay,
it.
let's,
Well, you can have your paper back, because I'm through with it. I said what I said. I told you what I said.
Good.
well, I'll be the bigger person and keep mine. Even though we need to be clear on this, that as council members, and I did say this, bring it up, I brought it out, that I contacted the, I believe it was GLA, and they said they have no control over, and I think I put that in the minutes, stated that they have no control. We don't know whether you all got married or not. I mean, that's not my prerogative. It doesn't matter.
What's that got to do with the price of
And
rice?
so I'm just saying, so that you would know what the price of rice is going to be. So, whoever you bring, that's your business. I don't control that. So I wish everybody would, do unto others as they would have everybody do unto them. It's
Sweetheart,
called
that's what I'm doing.
respect.
I'm trying to
It's
do
called
unto
respect.
others just like you
Thank
should.
you. And so with that being said, you all need to,
Is that in the minutes?
What?
That somebody called her a mistress?
I don't know.
Well, why you
I
brought it?
ain't
You
worried
didn't
about
know. You should know before you bring stuff like that and accuse people.
I'm just
It's
tired of
enough
wasting everybody's
torment
words
in
about
this
stuff.
world today, George, for us to sit up here as leaders. And you know that I know that I didn't hear nothing about saying you. I told you and that
Let's
everybody
stop.
should
Let's stop
do.
right there before we say something I shouldn't.
Right.
Because I was about to
Well,
say
you
something
can
and I
say-
don't want to. Because it-
Well,
okay.
you know, it don't matter.
And another thing, excuse me,
Excuse
order, please. And before we do this, we need to, and I understand your frustrations, Mr. Wynn, Councilman Wynn, and I hear what you're saying, however,
And I understand.
that was not the way to address that. That was not, clearly not the way to address that. And what we're needed to do.
How was I supposed to do it?
Let me say this, what we are doing now is we're raising our standards to a more sophisticated and dignified manner. Even if we have our differences, there's a better way to air them out. Thank you.
You need to raise your.
Moving right along, and I'm not going to entertain that, and I think of you better than that, okay? All right, moving right along to the committee reports. Mr. Daniel, would you please come down and address council?
Yes, ma'am, we're working on the Fall Line Festival, and, we've got plenty of these cards right here for
Thank you.
the mayor and city council to pass out. We're planning for this year's festival to be better than ever.
All right.
This year our attorney gets one. This year, we're, things always change. And we're having to think of things we have never thought about before in the city of Louisville. And one of the things we're starting to realize more and more is security and protection for for our Fall Line Festival. We will be hiring off-duty policemen to work that day for us out there, to control the event. But we're looking for some way, and I'm going to ask y'all to show you what we have and just look at the possibilities. This is the area out there we're talking about, Park. And the park is pretty much open. We would like somehow to, if we could, to install some fencing out there just for security purposes. It's not to block people out or block people in, but it's for the protection of our festival. The outlined in red right there is the areas that we would like to do something with. We want to be able to bundle the people into one location, one entrance, and not to hem anybody in, but control the event as we go. I would like for the city just to give me permission just to get some quotes and see what this would take. We're looking at no gates being put up, but just some type of fencing with open spaces in there.
We may have some at the recreation park, the ball field. We have some temporary fencing, hard fencing, and some, portable type fencing that you can put up from just state to state.
Okay.
You have to let me check, make sure, see what kind of conditions it is, but I think we've got some.
But I'm just asking for y'all's feedback on this because security and protection is becoming a daily event in our lives.
Well, let me ask you this, this is a citywide park, isn't it?
It's a
It's
release of the
open.
park. Yeah, but it's open.
That's
It
what
is
I'm
open.
saying, and
Yeah.
when I think of a park, I think of something where people, now, when did this come into play? Because, and I'm going to be quite honest with you, I'm quite frank, and this is not, but I've lived here all my life, and all of this, I remember when did you all come together, councilmen, and meet with the officials that they played ball on that land down at that park? And this was open to, because during that time they didn't have ball teams. Y'all can remember, Councilwoman, y'all, everybody that grew up here and going, that was where the softball team would play, particularly the black folk. And you know, that park is named for, especially for heritage. And this was open, and I'm not trying to start any ruckus now. This is the right thing to do. Because to close this out and then go over to the, what is this, the county park, to get, and correct me if I'm wrong, to get their wire, their fence and bring it over here and put it on city property, isn't that a conflict of interest?
That I don't know.
I'm
It's
just trying-
temporary, it's
Yeah.
not permanent. All it is just, you
I'm
set
trying
it
to
up just to
understand.
block the traffic for that
Yeah.
day. See, we charge to get into these events to recoup some of the money,
The city does, or
The Better Hometown does.
So
They
are
set a
y'all
fee.
separate from I'm having a time trying to understand, what is the purpose of the Better Hometown to do? I mean, to beautify,
Our
since
purpose
I've
is
been
right
here.
now for the festival.
But I'm saying, since I've been here, and the city has not, the Better Hometown, to be honest, has not fulfilled what I've been here since, putting everything in place and to come, and I'm thankful that you all now are ready to begin, but this never should have, ceased, because the city had nothing to do with the Better Hometown. If I'm hearing what you all are saying is correct now, this is
We
the time to
work
correct.
under the city of Gordon. The council is our boss. Okay? We
But
are,
what happened to if we're your boss, all these.
we are an entity within the city of Gordon. We have our own board of directors who decide, what we do as the board.
Okay, the board decided not, because normally,
Yeah.
with all those years, Bruce, and I've worked as a
Yeah.
volunteer with you guys, and remember, even at the 4th of July, I was very disappointed. No parade, the children's
We
parade.
had no 4th of July parade in about 5 years.
Is that right?
Yes.
Okay. And then does that money go back once it's been allocated for the what is it? And everybody looks forward to the 4th of July here in Gordon.
Yeah.
We didn't have any fireworks, did we?
We never had fireworks on the 4th of July.
We do it on the fall line.
Is that what it is?
We've always had
I-
fireworks on the Fall Line Festival.
What would that?
We never had violence.
I'm just asking for clarity, so I thank y'all for helping me out on that, but that would be something that I think we would, look at putting into
Yeah.
play. That's
We,
not
a lot of things we do, we base on volunteers
exactly.
within our organization.
Exactly.
And to be honest with you, our volunteer list has fallen way off the last 4 or 5 years. We have about 5 or 6 directors that get involved. These directors are getting 65 and 70 years old.
Have you been out to recruit any young
We
people?
have invited people to come to our meetings.
I'm not 65, but, you know, I still
Yeah.
would like to.
Our meetings, we post a notice, we've invited people, matter of fact, several people at city council who've spoken up in the past about issues in board. We've invited them to come to our meeting to address those issues.
And so that's what we,
Yeah.
all the differences, all of the, this, that, and the other, I think is a good start today.
Yeah.
That we, you know, communicate and reach out to the, you know, the kids in the school, and maybe you could start out with the younger generation by, getting them to get involved in this town, because, if, after all, when we look around, there's nothing here for our youth to do, and I thank God that we've not gotten to the part of, like these other towns, the gang violence and with everything that's hampering in other cities, we've been very blessed. So I'd like to utilize the resources that we now start to get something here and involve these young folks.
Well, at our festival, now, we will have volunteer groups come out to churches and work for us.
Wonderful. We've got, I know in our black community, we've got 7 churches, so reach out to them.
And we can do that.
Wonderful.
Fire departments and the EMA always.
They're always there. Like I said, we have to get our own security. But this is just for, we've never done this before, any type fencing. But when if we get 3,000 and 4,000 people at the park out there, you know, this just to us is protection. I don't know if we can swing it or not. I bring it to the council for their input. It would certainly help the flow of traffic, bundling everybody into one location.
I mean, we, you know, we don't want to send a message that we just.
Well, this is not blocking off the park by no means. If you look, there's openings every so often.
Okay.
It just opens.
Okay.
But this would control the flow of people.
Now, let me ask you that about the tarp and everything down there, because, I looked down last week, the
Tarp is
everything is
all torn
beautiful,
up.
but
Yeah.
you have to go back and,
We're gonna have to replace the tarp. And this year, we may put a temporary stand up over the stage itself, and just one pops up and pops down. Like that. Yeah.
okay. We'll move on.
Could I say something while we talking about it? You asked, and I'm gonna try to give you some clarification on that point. Mr. Sidney Miller or Mr. Eric Miller had a 50 or either a 75-year lease from the railroad on that property. And as they died out and Mr. Sidney got too old to look after all of it, he relinquished what he had on it, and he went back to the railroad. When the railroad got it, they stopped all activity on that park until we signed an agreement with them through the railroad for the city to have 4 or 5 city-sponsored events on it. And it's written up in the, you know, George.
As a matter of fact, I have something here in mind, regarding that, railroading. And I think what has happened is that we as council know all of this, but the citizens don't know all about this, Councilman Eden. So when we get this
It's been pretty
information.
well publicized for the last 12 to 15 years since we've had it, you know. I don't know if I'll what else to tell you.
And it's not, please know that it's not something that I'm coming up with, but it's something that the citizens, I mean, what was it? Can y'all recall when you all came down to council and met, there was a group of people that came down and was, I guess, not informed enough to know about the park itself and what it, I mean, I think what you need to do, so that we can clear all of this and all hearts and minds be clear on this, that we just need to have maybe a town hall dialogue where we can come and brainstorm that with the people and let them know, because I don't like talking about something that I'm not quite familiar with, because like I said, I love to watch the ball games. I'm not a ball player, but I do know when growing up, going to the baseball field that we called down there Pavement Quarters, before it was ever changed over to,
I do know we're allowed, what,
Do you
2
know anything
events out
about
there
that?
per year. two events out there,
Better hometown is.
the city of Gordon.
Okay, well, what I'll do is I'll contact, the railroad, and I think I have a letter in here somewhere from him.
And I do know there's a no smoking park. Yeah.
Right, and that's okay. I don't think folks are interested in smoking. I think,
But they smoked at the last festival they had.
I know. We got our security trained this year though.
Yeah.
So who's, you're saying that they can use it, you were saying 2 times. Well, I thought it was 4
We've
times.
been told as Main Street Gordon, we can use the park twice a year for a big event,
Mhm.
like the Fall Line Festival or something like that.
and that's for,
Okay, Mr. Eager, can you say in your paper 4 times?
is that?
It's not my paper,
Yeah.
it's the city's paper, the contract that they got with the railroad,
But
it's
they
on
say the
file here at
contract
City
had
Hall,
4
it says 4 or 5 city sponsored events
That's what
only.
Uh-huh.
And it's got that word only in there too, it's not, that I'm making that
So I
up, it
think-
says that.
Oh, but no, I didn't think that, I just wanted to know what you said was
Yeah.
on your paper, because actually, it has been over, how long since, it's been probably 2 years since you had anything there.
Right.
So if you have anything there, now would be the first time you were having something, and that's just one time.
Here it is, right.
So you really got
But
3 more
a year,
times.
you know, from year to year,
Per
you know,
year.
year to year.
We just.
Yeah, but I'm saying
council
per
only.
year.
Do you
Per year,
have-
so you hadn't had anything there.
Let me
So
read
even
this.
this year, you
Hold
still
on.
got this.
Okay.
You can do the foul.
Just hold right up. This is, to all taxing jurisdictions receiving railroad equipment payments, and I have this railroad equipment, the ad valorem tax, is what is being paid on this.
That's wheel mileage on all the rail cars that go through the city of Gordon.
I saw railroad, and that's what I thought about. I said, well, this is something.
That's a $3,200 tax check that the railroad has to send to the city. Every city in the state of Georgia gets a portion, and they got a railroad
Have y'all
track that
seen
goes
this?
through their city.
That's why I wanted to say, we hadn't had anything down there in 2.5 years.
2.5 years, why is that?
So, well, last year it rained us out, and then the year before that, just, there was a lot of chaos in the city, and we didn't feel it's safe
And that
to do.
stopped the Better Hometown?
So really, you got 4 times you can have something there this year.
I think, well, if that's what the paper says, we could, I guess.
Okay.
Per year, when the year runs out,
Yeah.
you start to do.
Yeah. So we hadn't had anything down there, not one thing.
Yeah. So, but our big event is the Fall Line Festival. I mean, that's our big event.
Okay, we can have
Really make
three
Gordon
more.
shine.
So then, okay, so
Yeah.
you're now naming that the Fall Line Festival, okay. So with that being said, we'll just come up with 3 more events that we can, and hopefully that you all can work together, we work with you all.
Absolutely.
As I said, in years past, this has been a great event.
Yeah.
And it's going to be, I truly believe in my heart of hearts that it will be, it's going to get better.
We're getting a lot of inquiries from vendors.
Wonderful.
We've got other issues, I mean, what, issues, we have to bring in porta potties, we have to bring in the Grand Illusion, we have to bring in the car show people, and maintain some control over all those.
Right.
The tractor show, we're working with that, so it's coming together of a lot of people.
Right, and good people,
Yeah.
you know, with like-mindedness, and that's wonderful, and so,
Yes, let me talk, one other thing. Y'all know last year, we had our Civil War Heritage Trail Marker placed at the depot. Well, about 4 days ago, this Executive Director Steve Long's prior call, with that came some signage that the DOT was supposed to put up indicating directions where to go. Well, they're gonna put a signage up on the Bottle Line Freeway, they're gonna put a signage up on Highway 57. What he wants to do, and the DOT to do, is to place 2 signs in board. One to be on.
can I interject and say something that I did get a call from him today, and I believe he was the one that was there last year that we
Yes.
met. And so with that being said, he said, well, I didn't know if you needed to put that there on the agenda to bring before council or.
Well, that's what my
whatever.
intentions were when I talked to him. I said, I can't do anything until city council approves it,
Right.
especially put the signs up.
And so I told him we had not gotten enough,
Yeah.
you know, now if council will be open tonight to receive that, that, what he was saying with that,
Yeah.
marker,
I'll give you the information that he sent me by email.
Right, he also emailed me this evening, so I have no
Yeah.
problem with that. I said, if it's going to bring,
Yeah.
business, tourism,
It just
And all the
indicates
above,
that we're
yeah.
on the Civil War Heritage Trail and directions how to get there. Basically, the DOT will put them up, they won't put them on the Louisville Highway and the spur, what used to be spur 18.
right, that's what he said, and he said it's also no charge.
Yeah, no charge.
So,
We just have, it's city property now, and we just have to give them permission to do that, because it used to be a DOT property.
Where is that at now, that particular spur that you're talking about?
The old highway spur 18. Back at
Where it comes by
BASF.
BASF, the old city cemetery, that's what they used to call the spur 18. Spur 18, yeah. And they gave it to us as a city street when they opened the fall line up. They don't use it as a state route anymore. And they gave us the Milledgeville Highway, and we call it Milledgeville Road.
But, I mean, it's a no cost, it just points out where our marker is, how to get there.
Okay.
And I told him I'd bring it tonight. I've even drafted a letter, I don't know if y'all want to see it, that we could use to send to him, because he sent it to us as Main Street Gordon. But like I said, we don't have no say-so about it, y'all have say-so about it. But this is what, that we had drafted, just something simple that would, at no cost. And, so, and I told him I would call him Mark. He's an anxious fellow, but,
He's out of Augusta, he said.
yes, he's out of Augusta. He's the executive director for this, and, all this has been approved by the General Assembly, the Governor of Georgia, about the historical trail. They'll already go from Atlanta to the coast, and he says we're one of the last ones to get the markers, and he would like to get it complete. I think we'll be the last ones to put the markers up, and his job will be complete.
Could you give them to the next meeting to really, okay,
Yes.
what I'd like to do is get Spence Basinger, who knows
Yeah.
a good bit about the right of way. You can't set it on the right of way, even though it's a city
Yeah.
street, that each one of them has certain right of ways, and he'd have to do a little research.
Yeah, well, he said, and the DOT will be putting in.
Right,
So,
we just need to make sure.
yeah, and I would hopefully the DOT would
Sure,
know what
they
book.
would, they probably would.
Okay.
I'm in agreement to it, yeah, just give them time, we'll put it on the next agenda.
Okay.
All right, thank you.
Thank you.
And even to you all to say to that, and would this come under you too, Bruce, with the, this is, I think I gave you all a copy of the Georgia fossils. Are you familiar with that? It says, how many heritage tourists can go and support over a weekend, say twice a year? These would be high-end tourists needing hotel rooms, meals, field gear, souvenirs, and I like this. Mr. Thomas Thurman with the natural historian, author, and explorer, it said, I would like permission to investigate the possibility of natural history tourism in Gore. In short, public fossil collecting with academic support. And he said, as if my suspicions prove true, you could develop a twice-yearly fall and spring public fossil dig, which could easily attract several hundred visitors twice a year for a weekend visit to Gore.
Absolutely. Now, you know, years ago, they used to have a couple of events like that, we had fossil hunting, but with the corporation of, back then with the G.B.R.
Engelhard, right.
And I think basically they took the door off to that,
Who did?
Liability, got
Liability.
involved, yeah.
Is that right?
taking people out to fossil hunt or whatever. But it's a great idea, but I'm sure BASF would have to, if you're gonna do it on their property, you'd have to give it permission.
Does it have to be there?
Not theirs, but I mean, all the people that would have it, you'd have to get a signed release from it.
Yeah, but it's a great idea.
Right. So what I'll do is just table that until the next meeting too, Councilman Galvin.
Just to add one more thing to it, the state does have a brochure, and typically they have them available at all the Georgia rest stations throughout the state of Georgia, all the way through the state of Georgia. If you stop at one and go in, and they gave it one that day, and I still have mine, but it has a route to Gore.
We'll bring it and share it with us.
I will.
They also have a website that people can go on, Civil War Heritage Trail, and it shows the entire
In Sherman.
Atlanta all the way down to the coast. And gives people a trail to follow.
even all the way up to,
Yes, that's right.
you know, the museum, terrible.
Yes.
Museum.
I have,
Yes, ma'am.
Bruce, who is responsible for, G.B.R?
We had it clean up under our budget, okay? We have it cleaned and maintained. We've always done that. As far as what we did to Lee Park to start with, was all donations to come in. And we've inquired about engraving, additional engraving. What happened last time was we sold bricks to raise money to get the engraver to come out. And so we basically wound up at a no-cost issue to us. We had
Yeah, I remember, yeah.
we had the benches donated to us, we had the fountain donated to us, so we was at a very, no cost to us whatsoever. But if we get the engraver out now without having some type of fundraiser, we'll have to pay. And, I think last time the bill was around $1,000.
Okay.
$7,300.
Yeah, but I was talking about like the upkeep of it as well as the verbiage being cut and all of that.
Yes.
Yeah, who do that?
Arlene Lamb is our director for that, and she oversees that. And she has Eve come in twice a year, I think, and cut bushes down and maintain the fountain over there. Right now, the fountain is messed up. We have to play it in, so we're going to have to replace the bowl and the fountain to get it working.
Okay, have you seen anything? Well, you need to go by there because it's really rolled up again. It just rolled
Okay.
up.
And I know we got, the damn storm last week in the park out there, did a little damage out there too. We hadn't really looked at it. There's some damage out there, MLK Park. Yeah.
But I was talking about the big part.
Yeah, but I will go by there.
Okay.
But now, who's responsible for the little, right there in the middle with the struggle? Is that the city or Better Hometown?
We have it cut. I don't know who that little island, right, that little triangle actually belongs to,
Should be the city.
but we
That
have
is
it
the
cut.
city.
It is the city?
Yeah.
Should be.
Yeah.
All right, so I
They really need to do something.
I mean, we had it cut like that because, yeah.
And I know you like nice things too.
I do.
Thank you so much.
You're welcome.
Next, we're moving on to, we've got, Main Street going, fire department.
The fire report's pretty good right now. We haven't had any major fires anywhere, not even grass fires, very much lately. Yes, ma'am. I'm well pleased.
Streets,
With the street. I wonder was Mr. Lawrence, Superintendent Lawrence here?
is Mr. Lawrence here?
Because we have quite a few little problems in going with the grass needing to be cut, sidewalks, and the way they're doing it. So I just give Mr. Superintendent Lawrence I write it down and I just pass it on to him because we are experiencing a lot of problems.
And you know too that, he's had, what, I think he's only left with 4 employees, but.
I'm aware of that.
We can, I know that they've advertised already, and, you need to be on top of that, Councilwoman Whipple, with them advertising for employees, hiring employees. So would you, take that role and, that'll alleviate you from being in on the interviews, and I think you should go ahead to, with the streets, because our streets, as I say, you all up there, and Councilman Dennis, I know there's no, you will do a lot of yard work and such, but we're not gonna charge you. But up at the mile markers, I mean the heads, what do you call them? Head, you know, when you come in the doors.
Oh, you're talking about the marquee, the sign?
That's just terrible, you all.
Okay.
And so we get a grip on that, council agree, that we get something done out there, to get it looking better on each end. The corner, even out there going toward Ivy's grown up out there. Does that belong to the city too?
That belongs to the,
And y'all put one of them out
we
there?
put it there when it was Milledgeville Highway, and it did belong to the City of Gordon Development Authority. It does, but now the Wilkerson County Development Authority owns all that now.
So what can we do about
We
that?
talked
Can
about
we
moving.
Move it, and probably if we move it, might fall over, don't you think?
Possibly.
But, what we need to do, I'm concerned about the attractiveness of the city. And so if y'all will give me leeway to go ahead and get something done about that, maybe we get some, volunteers out there to, since our, employees are tied up, would y'all be willing to do that?
I'll look at it, I got a good weed eater.
You'll go out there and
Yes,
do
ma'am,
it?
I will.
Wonderful. You and, Councilman, y'all men, and if y'all need, I might just come out and supervise.
I'll get in touch with you.
Okay. Thank y'all so much, and let's get on top of that, please. That's what am I, all right, we're moving on to police, I think we've, Councilwoman Wilson,
Now it's told.
I'm sorry, Toby.
We had a little small storm come through the board last night, we had a tree to fall on a mobile home. And the trailer park down there, even in the trailer park,
Was anybody hurt?
no, wasn't nobody hurt. And they also had a tree to fall on a car, but it wasn't nobody hurt in that either.
Okay.
Councilwoman Thomas, I spoke with you Nick yesterday, but I didn't tell you much. One of our full-time officers, John Jackson, turned his resignation in.
Okay.
And he is going to work for animal control in Jones County. And he has to still work at a part-time basis. So one of the questions I like to ask Mike, if I need to fill that spot, but if I can go ahead and advertise, put an advertisement in the paper coming up. We need to hire a full-time certified law enforcement officer. He was full-time.
Well, why don't you all, get together and discuss that and bring that back to the table? Because, just at the meeting when did he tender his resignation?
So we got, what'd you get it for, last week?
I just got last week for the.
Last Thursday, Friday.
Did you give Councilwoman Jones a copy?
No, I didn't. I was discussing with her yesterday about some issues.
Okay, when you do, please follow up with her, being that she's on that department, please follow up likewise with her. Okay, thank you. Moving along to, here's something with the sanitation and water. And I'll be addressing that, but I just don't want you all to be excluded, council. I don't know, I think I gave you all a copy of this letter from the Middle Georgia Regional Commission, from Laura Mathis, talking about the timeline for the comprehensive plan. And I will be going back, meeting with her and them, I believe, the one day this week. And we need to, it says that new comprehensive plan must be adopted every 10 years, and so you all are familiar with that. Councilman Eden, I'd like you, if you don't mind, when you get a chance to help me out with that, But I did want to insert that we want to be full aware of that, okay? But moving right along to sanitation.
I haven't talked to Mr. Dixon, but I plan on talking to him because I don't know what's the problem, so I don't know until I talk to him. He's running the day behind on picking up the trash the last 2 or 3 weeks out my way. I don't know about it. Today is Friday, but sometime it'll be late Saturday evening before we get that. So I plan on seeing him one day this week. See what the problem is.
All right, please do. And, all right, that being no further, we have now citizens to be heard, so council, I think I put, that in your, is Ms. Boyd here? Yeah, come on down, Ms. Boyd.
Good time, or somebody? Got it, right there. Put it in.
Go ahead.
Okay, well, I might just want to say, I'm G.B.R. And I want to say on behalf of myself how I was treated unfairly. I was talked to in a disrespectful way. And
Who is this by?
by the city clerk. I came down the 1st of June. I talked with Ms. Heather and I asked her could money, July the 1st. And she stated that the water leak was still going on and they didn't know if they were gonna make a, payment. So, due to, the 4th, Monday being a holiday, I came back again on the 5th with my money. I was instructed to call back Wednesday morning. And he said we talked with Mr. Melvin. Mr. Melvin in the beginning also stated that it will be fixed for July 8th, what I was informed about. So I called back again as I was instructed to on Wednesday. Then I was instructed to call back again on Thursday. And I came in Thursday evening to pay my deposit, to really pay in full. And as I came in, Heather was going to pull out the receipt book or whatever to, give me my receipt to take it home. That's when the city clerk stated I couldn't get that day because it was based on first come, first served with the money. So, and I told her, I had tried to explain to her that I had been coming numerous times trying to pay my money. So she was continually saying that first come, first served. And I was like, in that case, I was first. So, after I left, and I came back and I spoke with someone because she stated that someone else had that day. So, I said, well, could you give whoever it is a call that, that's supposed to be renting out the place? Give them a call to see if they're still going to have it over their council. So she told me, call back the next morning. That was Friday, July the 8th. So I left. I went and talked to Mr. Melvin. I explained to him what was going on because I was notified Wednesday that it was fixed Wednesday evening. But when I called Mr. Warner back Thursday morning, that's when not Mr. Warner, Ms. Heather, that's when she told me that Mr. Melvin had fixed it. So, I left and I came back and I spoke with Ms. Heather. Ms. Heather.
Okay, you go
We
ahead.
appreciate it. We've already got it in writing, so we appreciate you coming and telling us what you did. Thank you.
Okay, so with that being said, council, have y'all read her complaint? So y'all want to table that or act on it tonight or?
Nothing to act on for, I know. I mean, she made her speech and that was it. No action to be taken.
Are y'all in agreement with that, council?
Yes.
I'm not. If we got problems like that, then we need to address it, whether it's tonight or at the next meeting or what. I don't know, I wasn't there, so I can't say what took place. I can't say that. But we are here for the citizens. And when the citizens come in, they need to be treated with courtesy. And I just can't sit here and not say everything is okay. Because, like I said, the citizens are going, is why we are on council. And we need to not just say it's over. If they come up with the problem, at least we need to look into it. Because like I say, I wasn't there. I don't know what happened. But I do think it's worth being looked into. Same thing if it had been you two that filed against her.
How do that work, Mr. Warner?
So she got a first serve.
Okay, but
But
somebody else had it.
she was not on the calendar. When I looked at the calendar, she was not up there. So I gave it to the gentleman who asked for it.
So you and Miss Heather,
Heather wasn't even there. The day she would have not written her name in the calendar. So when the guy came in, wanted to read, I looked too hard.
okay, so what date did he come in?
I can't remember, but it was that week. And there was nothing on the calendar, so I looked at it. Everything was done fairly. She's upset with it, but it was done according to rules.
And let me say
The
this.
rule is whose money come first.
If you got a paying customer coming through there, but puts down that money, deposit fee comes first.
But okay, but still, Heather had talked to her.
It don't
From
matter, she
this
didn't go
letter.
to the books, I had no way of knowing.
Well, okay then, but what we need to do then is we need to,
There's a
one of you all need to,
We've got one.
and you got one that
Would you
says
wanna rent
money
out,
come
would
first.
you wanna rent out the complex to somebody who needed water when you didn't have water?
Okay,
You wanna take their money until you could.
that would be up to the customer. That would be up to the customer.
She didn't
But-
have water,
But she had water.
she didn't have water.
She didn't have water that day that they
Now
was
they were
running.
still working on it.
So when she had her event, the water wasn't working.
I don't know if it was that day, but when she came in, it was not working.
Well,
Still
I
was
feel
not
like she
working.
should have been notified first
She was notified.
that, that she had put in for,
Let me interject and say this. That day, based on what was told to me, and this is recorded, I listened to the both of them because when I walked in the office, Ms. Halver, Ms. Brown, and Ms. Boyd were, Ms. Boyd and Ms. Halver were communicating, but Ms. Brown, they were back and forth, arguing with each other. So I said, let's stop this, let's settle this amicably and find out what's going on. So Ms. Halver did admit that Ms. Boyd had come in, had been off and on and off, back and forth in the office, seeking to use this annex for the event. And Ms. Halver admitted to me that Ms. Boyd had been back and forth, and she told her, you know the issue, you understand the issue with the water problem. And she said yes. So she said with the understanding that, you know, she did go to Mr. Lawrence and talk to him. Mr. Lawrence validated, as well as Ms. Halver, that Ms. Boyd had requested the usage of the this facility before the people that requested. Now, Ms. Halver said to me that the gentleman that requested to use the building came to the morning, the evening, I think before, but Ms. Boyd had already requested. So I said to resolve this. Ms. Brown said she didn't know anything about Ms. Boyd and Ms. Halver. So I said to resolve this, then we'll let both of them utilize. One use Section A and one use Section B. And they agreed. However, I think Mr. Bresson wanted to utilize the A section, but he only had, I think, about 4 people to train. Well, Ms. Boyd had about maybe 30-something odd people at the event. So I said, well, ask Mr. Kim, would he mind switching, since she's going to have the larger facility that we value, give access. And so, with that being said, they agreed. Nevertheless, the day of the event, Ms. Boyd was here, and the gentleman who had spoken with Ms. Brown never showed up. So,
That's the second day now. Remember, I told her she would call me the next morning. I would let her know if he had on that night. Because he had 2 days. I wasn't sure about the second one. There's a lot that y'all don't know.
so I didn't know anything about that, but however, I thought we got that resolved, but nevertheless, she paid for this building. And to utilize this building and be treated like this, and now that was not the water problem, it was the heat problem. Now, the problem of it is to have someone coming in and entertaining, and it's burning up in here with that many people, and it don't take much to make a room hot. That's just not fair. Regardless. So whether it's solved or not solved, we need to solve this and not treat anybody like this. These are taxpaying, everybody dollar matters.
I will say that SAPS was out here. They knew ahead of time we were having air problems. Now, we did try to rectify them. But you see how all this in here. But we tried everything we could, but
So
the building's getting old, things are happening, it's getting harder and harder to rent out because we're having so many problems.
So if that's what it takes, if this is going on, then we need to do just like we're doing the depot, shut everything down and not let anybody use it until it's brought up to standards. But with y'all's taxpaying dollars, I mean, you ought to get some kind of incentive for your dollars. It makes no sense paying on water and sewage and not being able to utilize any facilities in this town. People, we're not about that. We're about making it conducive for everybody. So if we can't resolve this tonight, then I truly feel that, with that being said, that they got the water issue addressed, but the heat situation, that was beyond her control. So I just feel in my heart of hearts that she needs to be reimbursed. Now, it's up to you all as council. That's just not fair. If I go and pay my money, I expect everything to be particularly in place.
Is that what this is really all about? That's what you're asking?
No, I'm just stating my stance as to what I'm really, that's what I'm saying.
Now, we could have handled that in office.
I really think, you know, a
This is
citizen to
what
be
we-
heard is a non-action, line item. We've already passed all the business, so we can't take any action on it.
Well, we can address that.
We discussed it, yes, ma'am, we've done that.
We'll do that then and address that. Because we want to make our citizens happy. We don't want certain folks happy and certain folks unhappy, okay? We want a balance across the board. And that's what this is all about.
But she did get to rent the room, I mean, she did get her room that day she wanted, right?
I don't think that was the problem. I think the
Okay.
problem was the treatment.
Right.
Okay.
That's what I think.
But see,
And I don't know which way,
When
like
you
I
go back to
said.
the treatment, that's one story, but there's another story.
Yeah, but it's true, that's what I said, I wasn't here, I don't know how.
Right.
Well, I have always been.
Hey, hush.
Exactly. Let's just bring this to a close and say that regardless who comes in the office, and I guess I will have to address that regardless whether someone comes in the office, regardless, we're not to customer service. I've always been taught customer service, and even if I didn't like it, and Sears had that slogan, the customer was always right. And so we need to do this because tax dollars, people, we don't know what they're going through to earn their dollars. And we need to be, our department needs to, everybody needs to be treated with dignity and respect. When y'all come in that office, that's the first thing I want to do, is treat you with that. And if you have a problem, come directly to me, not come to the mayor if you got a problem with me. And let's sit down and let's try to resolve this. The thing of it is, we want to appease our customers. After all, customer satisfaction is what keeps us in business and keeps this town operating. All right, with that being said, we're gonna bring that to a close. So, can I help you? Go ahead. You have you're the, go ahead.
I just want to make sure, because now I'm confused, and Mr. Brown brought this up, that there's two things going on here. One seems to be reimbursing the citizen who has a grievance because of some conflict with scheduling. The second, there's an implication that the clerk did something improper, although, to my knowledge, I've reviewed the report, I've reviewed her own statements, in my estimation, her own statements taken out as their face still wouldn't lead to anything done improperly by the city. But I want to make sure that we're not, I'm not aware of a write-up or anything like that of Ms. Brown, and it would be improper procedurally to try to address that in this council without giving her due process rights and giving her full notice that you're going to do this and you're going to inquire into her activity and give her the ability to defend herself and present witnesses and things like that. So we really can't launch into her actions and behavior until the council has decided they want to do that, make an investigation, and then they properly notice her.
Okay. Are y'all clear on that, Council?
Yes, ma'am.
Excuse me. Everybody clear? Councilman,
Is anything been done about the correcting the air conditioning problem?
We have called them. When they came out that day, they couldn't find anything, but we will call them again.
this is, and this is not on her, but the fact of the matter that we coming in here with this window unit, is there any way we can perhaps get another unit? Because this is not working.
Sure.
What was that, Chief? We need what now?
Oh, unit itself.
I'm in agreement.
We've had problems with this since day one, since you've been in office. since old, but.
And that all not be,
Unit up there is done this that old, but we had trouble since it's put in.
And it's not only this unit, it's the unit in the adjoining room also.
so council, it's time to do something about this. We don't want folk, humiliating and, all of okay, is everybody clear on that? Are we clear that we might need to, do something, address this?
Yeah, ma'am, I mean, you know, they've already, just tell them to come and do the best they can. You know, we can't spend any more money than what we got budgeted on it right now, so if they
I'll
can get
make
it
sure
going, we'll put it in the budget for next year to get a whole new outfit, you know.
Put it in the budget, we'll make sure that, do that. Okay. With that being said, we now have on the last item, executive session. So, we're gonna have a recommendation that we not enter into executive session.
I'll make a motion that we enter into executive session, to talk about pending litigation.
I second.
Motion has been made, second, all in favor, Mr. Councilman Densley.
Aye.
I didn't know you was even involved in it.
I know, but it's all right. I wouldn't like that. I didn't.
Everybody in? We will now reopen the meeting for council.
I have a motion that I'd like to make before we adjourn. I have a motion that we accept this, approve this consent settlement agreement that has been presented to us tonight.
Motion has been made, do I have a second?
Second.
All in favor?
Aye.
No.
Aye.
Could I say something?
Motion failed. Pardon?
Could I say something? Why did you lean back in your chair and give Mr. Toles like that? I was sitting back and watching.
Let me tell you something. I'm sitting here and watch you get on the folks' eyes and lips, nose and all of that, and you don't hear me say a word.
No,
And
that don't have anything to do with voting up
I
here.
can lean back in the chair whenever I
I
get
know you
ready.
can do that.
So, and she don't tell me
Yes,
how
you
to
guys,
vote. She don't
could I ask
tell
you
me
to
how to
vote in pass or fail? I could not hear all the votes. May I ask?
Let's see if I got them right. I had Wynn at A, Whipple no, Toles no, Edie A, and Densley A.
So the motion failed.
Failed.
I'll make a motion that we adjourn.
I second.
Motion has been made and seconded.
I'm gonna wait to tell you.
Six off.
You know what? I would never talk about y'all.
Chief, you are.
You ain't not gonna let us go there, you can get something. I mean, you know, I have a lot, you can line those, you can line those, and she can line.
I have a motion that I'd like to make before we adjourn. I have a motion that we accept this approve this consent settlement agreement that has been presented to us tonight.
Motion has been made, do I have a second?
Second.
All in favor?
Aye.
Aye.
Excuse me, could I say something?
Pardon?
Could I say something? Why did you be back in your chair and give Ms. Toles like that? I was sitting right here watching.
Let me tell you something. I see that and watch you get a lot of folks eyes and lip, nose and all of that, and you don't hear me say a word.
No, that don't have anything to do with looking up
And I
here.
can lean back in the chair whenever I
I know you can do that.
So if she don't tell me
Yes,
how to
guys,
do, she does. She
I
don't
have
tell me
been
how to do.
voted passed or failed. I could not hear all the votes. Like I had,
Let's see if I got them right. I had Wynn at A, Whipple no, Toles no, Edie A, and Densley A.
motion failed.
Failed.
I'll make a motion that we adjourn.
I second.
Motion has been made and seconded.
You did not go in and score me, the meeting's over. I have a right, you can lie to the oath, you can lie to oath, and she can lie to oath and get by with it. But you can't lie about me.
And all three of you did, you know it.
Well, you know you did.
Don't take it.
You're the one that
Yes, you did.
started it. You're the one that started it.
Judge gave you a chance to get out of there, but you didn't do it.
But I'm not gonna argue with you. I'm not gonna argue with you.
All right, Marilyn, get up.
Excuse me. Thank you, Jean.
Let's go, Mary Lou.
All right, okay. Just give me a, no, I've got it. Thank you. No, I have it. I've got it. Huh? I've got it. Thank you. Thank you. Let me get everything that Thank you.
decided, I'm gonna let you know we decided not to answer any questions. That was Mr. Harris answering y'all those questions, so I respect y'all not to ask the media any questions as well. Just stick to your statement and be done with that. So we're not gonna answer any questions because of fear of manipulation. So with that said, I'm gonna introduce Ms. Olivia Pearson, City Commissioner.
Thank you, Mr. Worthy. Again, thank you, Mr. Worthy. To begin, I'm gonna fall back on something that Mr. Presley mentioned. He said that you stated that it had nothing to do with the group. Well, I'm not sure that you stated it didn't have anything to do with the group. I know just a minute ago, Jerry Hudson said it was mainly on Douglas Now, was mainly about Bobby Worthy.
His article was.
Not quite. Supported by Commissioner Pearson. That's what he stated,
yep.
Which was a total lie because I had nothing to do with Bobby Worthy and Larry Neesmith. That was totally separable from this whole thing that you all have blown to hell, because that's what you've done.
Your name wasn't on that flyer for the meeting as a supporter?
Who held the meeting? You asked me a question. I'm asking you, who held the meeting?
I did, and you didn't answer it. Wasn't your name on that flyer?
I held the meeting. Sure, my name would be on it.
Okay, well,
see, that's where you went wrong.
That's all we said.
No. That's not all you said. That's not all you said. You said supported by Commissioner Pearson. What was supported by Commissioner Pearson?
The meeting.
The meeting that I called, that's exactly right. I called the meeting. Justice League did not call the meeting, first and foremost. They didn't call the meeting. I held a meeting through Southern Rural Black Women's Initiative for Economic and Social Justice. I invited Mr. Bobby Worthy and the NAACP. Let me finish, Mr. Hudson.
That was the point of the article, the mention of you.
No. You claim that the Justice League held this meeting, which was a lie. It was a lie. You said it, as well as the Douglas Enterprise said it. Justice League did not hold a meeting here in Douglas, Georgia. Southern Rural Black Women's Initiative held a meeting. I invited Mr. Worthy. I invited Mr. O'Hara as district rep for the NAACP. I invited Mr. Hal Presley. And matter of fact, I invited the entire community of the city of Douglas, Coffee County, Georgia. I announced it on my city council meeting. So why in the world tell me would I hold a meeting that's going to succumb to or support hatred towards white people or any other people? Why would I hold a public announcement of a meeting like that? I haven't been in office for 15 years to do something so low down and dirty. See, you had your facts, you had your statements incorrect. Had you all given us the respect and decency to come and ask a question, Luke, Ed, you were at the meeting when I announced about that flyer. If you have a concern or issue about it being to hate white folks or kill white folks, seemed like to me you would have had the courtesy, being that you were there, to have came to me, Commissioner Pearson, what is this about? But no, not one of you, journalism fellas or lady, I'm not sure what part you played in it. So if you did play a part, excuse that comment. Not one of you had the decency or respect to come to me as an elected official and ask the question, what is this all about? A decent journalist who is seeking the truth has a moral and ethical obligation to go and get both sides of a story and not just print one side and not just assume. And none of you did that. So yes, I feel my life is threatened with something like this. And you sat there when Mr. Presley asked the question, have you gotten any feedback from anybody? Nobody would say anything. You didn't answer it. But I already know the answer to it. You've gotten feedback because I've gotten feedback. I've gotten feedback from white people. I've got feedback from black people. And they're not satisfied with it, black or white. And they have all said to me,
Olivia, we know that's not true. So some people who might not know me might not know, but those who know me know I wouldn't take part in anything that's going to deal with hatred or killing or anything in breaking the law. So on now today, you all want to come and be a part of this press release, this news conference on today, after you have done your damage. Because like I say, damage has been done. Because don't everybody know all of us and what we stand for. It's just the grace of God that those who do know us know we wouldn't dare partake of any such foolishness.
Amen.
And I feel like what you're doing is displaying what you have in your heart to print something like this.
Amen. Yes.
I can say to you, not one of you have ever had me to say anything racist to you, to say anything about hatred to you. In dealing with your media and dealing with me, none of you can say that I've ever said anything racist. If it's right, if it's a fact about what has happened, and it might tend to lean on one side of the color line or the other, call it what you may. But God be my judge. He knows my heart, and know I wouldn't partake of anything such as this that you all have intended to influence this community to believe. Amen. It's totally ridiculous. It's totally unacceptable. And we are not going to tolerate it. So now you want to go and dig and talk about the use of the Coley Center. Get the records about the Coley Center. You dig on and see what you find. If anybody got any money for using the Coley Center, it definitely was not Commissioner Olivia Coley Pearson. Right? I have never used the Coley Center or any facility of the city of Douglas in an inappropriate manner. That's why I announced the meeting of that we were having on October 3rd. That's why I announced it at my city council meeting. And I said then, anybody who is concerned about the community and would like to help and take part, please come. That was my request. But you all are tending to try to divide this community more and more and more. I'm concerned as to who employs the Douglas 9 employees, as well as the Douglas Enterprise. What do these people stand for? I'm really surprised at this time. I'm surprised. Because your editors should have told you, go get the other side. See what they have to say about it before we print this.
Should have been fast checked.
It should have been.
Should have been fast checked.
And it's sad. It's sad because it's too late in the day with too much everything that's going on in our surroundings and our communities and our different states. It's too much and too late in the day to try to print something like this to make white folk feel that they need to go and buy guns, which was announced at a church meeting. Announced at church by a white lady that she needs to go and buy a gun because of this group that has been formed. And I suggest to the rest of y'all that y'all go by one is what she was quoted as saying. So if it's in y'all's heart to cause this kind of deliberate tension and division, you need to go check yourselves. They damaged the community. You need to go check yourselves. God is not pleased. God is not pleased. When I chose to run for office, I found all kind of opposition. Some by black folks, but some by white folks. And ever since I've been in office, I've had to deal with you all saying statements that were not true, trying to blemish my name. So whatever it is you're seeking, I hope you find it. But I can tell you, my name is not going to be blemished because the people know what I stand for. When I talk to the white city employees, Commissioner Pearson, we know you're not like that. But like I say, my concern is the people who do not know me. Who do not know me.
Amen.
Because my mother, an honorable woman, who I got emails and texts from people telling me when I expressed what was going on my Facebook page, they said, we know what your mother stood for. We know she didn't raise you that way. But I'm wondering, how have you all been raised? Yes, I'm wondering today. I'm wondering today. Because somebody from the media should have had the decency to see the true facts so justice would be known and would prevail. as you all say, recent altercation shines light on new militant organization. That's what y'all said. That's what y'all said. And I'm trying to find out where's this militant organization at. Because it's not us. It's not us. Some of us can barely walk. We are elderly. Walking with sticks. But we are militant. Because we state what is the truth. We're seeking to make the community better, which is what I said at that city council meeting when I announced that meeting on October 3rd. So how did militant organization come out of it? It's wrong. The meeting I had, Southern Rural Black Women, has been here in Douglas Coffee County since 1999. And I was asked to chair and lead this group. Southern Rural Black Women's Initiative for Economic and Social Justice. Not just justice for black people or black women, but it's geared toward women. Because women have had a difficult time finding daycare, someone to keep their kids so they can go to work, trying to finish and get a GED so they can get a good job. That's why this group was formed and has received federal monies and monies from private groups to help people who are a part of this to better their lives. And you would take the meeting we held, which was hosted by Southern Rural Black Women, and distort the facts. Shame on you. Shame on you.